afternoon, I'm Raine Musñgi. This is Newsfeed. The Philippine Stock Exchange mounting a rally ahead of the Philippine Central Bank's policy-setting meeting on Wednesday. The main index climbing 1.7% to close back above the 7,400 level. Value turnover coming in at 6.3 billion pesos. Advancers beating decliners 124 to 92. Analysts are pricing in another 25 basis point cut from the BSP after inflation retreated to an over 4-year low of 1.9% in September. As for the most actively traded stocks, financials led the pack, with BDO, Metrobank, and BPI occupying 3 slots in the top 5. President Bongbong Marcos seeks more investments and funding into global disaster risk reduction efforts. Marcos made that call at the opening of the week-long Asia-Pacific Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in Pasay City. In a speech, the president stressed the importance of a sustained and predictable data and financing to improve how countries address disaster risks. He also called for stronger international legal framework to guide responses to calamities. Money sent home by Filipinos abroad saw a dip in August. From a 7-month high of $3 billion in July, it went down to $2.89 billion. But when compared year on year, it grew 3.3% from the $2.8 billion recorded in August 2023. For the first 8 months of 2024, cash remittances reached over $22 billion. In terms of sources, the United States tops the list with about 41% of the total remittances recorded so far this year coming from the country. Singapore comes second and Saudi Arabia at third. The UK and Japan round out the top 5. Japanese investment bank Nomura sees only a 15% chance that the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas will make a big 50 basis point rate cut at tomorrow's policy meeting. Nomura says there is instead an 80% chance of a 25 basis point cut. They expect the central bank to stay focused on keeping inflation in check, using the latest inflation data to guide their decision. It also pointed out ongoing geopolitical issues could push oil prices higher, which would impact inflation. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, cuts its forecast for global oil demand growth for the 3rd straight month. OPEC now expects oil demand to grow by 1.93 million barrels per day this year, down 106,000 from its previous estimate of 2.03 million. The oil producer group also reduced its forecast for next year to 1.64 million barrels per day. OPEC attributed the adjustment to lower expectations for the oil demand performance in several regions. Despite the revision, OPEC said the demand growth is still well above the historical average of 1.5 million barrels per day seen before the COVID pandemic. And shares of AI giant Nvidia hit a record high Monday as the company nears overtaking Apple as the world's most valuable company. Nvidia is now valued at $3.39 trillion. This is just below Apple's valuation of $3.52 trillion and above Microsoft's $3.12 trillion. Nvidia shares are so far up 14% from October, or this October, recovering from concerns about product delays and long-term growth prospects that led to a sell-off last month. And before we go, here are today's market winners and losers. Those are the news this hour. I'm Raine Musñgi. Stay tuned to BNC on Free TV, Channel 31, Channel 24 on Cignal, and on our website, bnc.ph. Thank you for watching.